I don't really want to talk about this.
Okay.
So like it's against my own will.
Huh?
Like it's against my own will.
Okay. I
Okay.
thought you said it's against Manuel.
No,
Like,
against my own will.
Who is
Okay.
that guy?
Kevin Holland versus Brunson. I didn't watch the fight.
Yeah.
Okay, so then don't get angry at me. I didn't watch the fight.
Why didn't you watch him?
Because I had better things
Because
to
you're
do.
casual.
Basically, yeah. But I watched the part where he's talking to Khabib. So
What did he
everything else
say?
is you. He's like, brother, I need you to come here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. So
Come be my
he talked to
cornerman.
Khabib throughout the whole fight, and one thing he was talking about is I think you're allowed four cornermen, right? Is it four cornermen? But maybe whatever. He's like, oh, come to my corner. I only have 3 people, and be my 4th.
Yeah.
So Kevin Holland is very interesting. He's like, what are you doing? Oh. Anyways, Kevin Holland is like he's been compared to Israel Adesanya because he's in the 185 division, and there was talks about him facing Israel Adesanya, but Israel is like kind of batted away, be like, yo, go fight people, and then they matched him up against.
You hope, mate.
Let's wrestle. He was matched up with Derek Brunson, and Derek Brunson's turned into like this gatekeeper. This guy, anybody that's on the up and up, right? They give him to Derek Brunson to see like if he's the person's able to beat Derek Brunson or not. So Kevin Holland went in there. It was kind of strange. It was like Kevin Holland was like trying to be like buddy with him, trying to give him 5 dabs every time. I was talking to him, all this kind of stuff. Maybe it was head games that he was trying to do, but it kind of got awkward because then Derek Brunson was like just completely stonewalling him. Like every time Kevin Holland would go for a dab, right? Brunson would just look straight and walk away, and then he was just like. So it was a very strange situation, but the way that the fight went was. Derek Brunson's game plan was, okay, I'm going to stay on the outside. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get hit or try not to get hit, and then just look for entries for a clinch. And then once you're in the clinch, then you can take him down. And when he took him down, it was pretty easily. Like he took him down with some trips, but once he was on the ground, what's very interesting is Kevin Holland, like for the majority of the time, had his guard closed, just sealed shut. Like, remember when we talked about Izzy and Jan, where Izzy would open and close. Kevin Holland just kept it closed the entire time. So when you try to close it, like usually people close it so that like it prevents the other person from transitioning. Mm-hmm. So you do that because, okay, you want to hold him there. And then you can play with your guard, right? You can go and try to go for arm bars and stuff like that. But he really didn't do much. He was just on the ground. And I think that's just a testament to where his wrestling, his grappling game is at the moment.
Well, you know, one thing I saw actually, it was end of the fight where like he knew he lost, but he was like celebrating, right? Like in the end.
I didn't see that. I think my I stopped the video after the bell rang. But
the stream went down.
No, I have UFC Fight Pass now. It was on UFC Fight Pass.
Cap.
No,
Cap.
You have the login.
I do. I know. I agree.
Anyway, so there's a big hole in Kevin Holland's game where he's not able to do much on the ground. For takedowns as well, it looked like after like the first round and stuff, he really didn't want. He didn't really try completely to stop these takedowns. Yep. He in his corner was like, oh, I think the corner mentioned that as well. He's like, hey, I'm trying. Trust me, I'm trying. But I think that's just something that he has to develop in his game. On the feet though, he tagged Derek Brunson many times. He actually dropped him. I think it was the first or second round. So on the feet, if it was a kickboxing match, Kevin Holland wins 10 out of 10 times. But unfortunately for Kevin Holland, it's mixed martial arts, and he had no answer for the takedown.
But the fans were annoyed, eh? Like in the comment section, like on Twitter and everything, they were pissed off. They're like,
at what?
Like I think at Kevin Holland.
Why?
Because he was messing around all fight, right?
Yeah.
They got angry. I don't know.
I get the anger because it was such a weird fight, right? It came off like it might have came off as like disrespectful, and he's not taking it seriously. But at the same time, you have to realize this guy doesn't have a very strong grappling game, and it's going against a guy that's a UFC veteran that is much stronger than him. Plus, is like his strongest aspect of his game is the grappling, is the clinch, the infighting, all that kind of stuff. So, I get that they're upset at him, but at the same time, I think he was trying to not distract, but he was trying to play like a little bit of mind games, a little gamemanship, and then try to use that as like a leverage or some way to win the fight, because he wasn't winning the fight on the ground. He was just laying on his back and just having his guard closed.
So how come Khabib was there? He was there because of his cousin, right? He was.
Yeah. So Khabib's gonna show up for who knows how long, but he's gonna be there. And he's gonna have a ringside seat, and he's gonna like be a cornerman for whoever he wants, whatever fighter he trains with.
Well, like his whole team is so big that you think that like for every single card for next like few months, like there's gonna be at least
you'll see him. You'll see him.
Right?
I think slowly he'll like not show up to every single one.
Yeah.
But he's coming because he's like, what else I gotta do?
What's I gonna do at home? Huh?
Oh, interesting thing about the Kevin Holland fight is, which I'll give credit to Kevin Holland, is he got put into an arm triangle, but he survived it. The way that you stop an arm triangle, or one of the defenses, is like calling the phone, right? Where you put your hand on your ear, and you are creating space. So you're creating space so that you can have some more room to breathe. Yeah. So he was doing that, and even with that, sometimes guys get choked out because the pressure is so strong from the person that's applying the choke. So Derek Brunson in this case, but Derek Brunson was not able to, maybe not able to squeeze hard enough. Maybe he didn't, like he was just using his arms and not using his body, right? But whatever it may be, they were there for a while, right? It was a long time where he was literally inside control, had the arm triangle on, and was squeezing. But Kevin Holland was able to just like, he was just laying there, literally he was just laying there. But then eventually what Kevin Holland did was, he got his legs and he threw them over his head. So then he like flipped backwards, right? And he broke the hold and stood up. So that was a good
goddamn 10th planet jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, Eddie Bravo. Eddie Bravo. So that's good thing. I like to see that from Kevin Holland. I don't think he's I think give him some more time. Let him develop his ground game. The striking is there. Yeah. Even though he does.
How old is he?
Huh? I don't know. He's in his 20s. But
you think he pissed off Dana or no?
Dana, I didn't see anything from Dana though. Usually Dana comes and has like those post conference and it says us. He didn't do anything. One thing that like he's really good at on stand up, but he does have tendencies where he like overextends or he has his chin exposed, which might catch up to him. But for now, he beat Jacare. Jacare is no joke, right? He beat other guys as well in his winning streak. But if he starts to refine his striking game, where he's like covering up a little bit more, and he starts doing his ground game, like improve his ground game, I think he'll be fine. Now I'm not sure. Maybe in like maybe a year and a half, 2 years, we'll see a lot more from him. But for now,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Next topic. Ready for this topic?
What does she say?
I can't tell you.
Okay,
next topic, because
do you know about this topic?
I think we've done too many videos on this topic.
Okay.
Actually, we posted the exact same video twice. It's with the same title.
What is it?
Stipe versus Francis, final breakdown. Final breakdown. Final breakdown. Because we did one like a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
In like October, without video.
So now with UFC Fight Pass, like honestly, if you're an MMA fan, like UFC Fight Pass is actually really, really good.
Has everything.
It's really, really, it's a lot of fun to watch.
And HD quality too. Right?
Yeah. Can you not try and touch the cord?
I can. It's like hanging around. Look at yours. Yours like thing.
Yeah. Because I'm smarter, that's why. So
what do you mean you're smarter? What do you mean you're smarter? Let's watch. I can do the same thing.
So do it.
I'm done.
Okay, cool. So so what happened? Sorry, I watched a lot of the fights for the build up of Francis versus Stipe 2. So I watched Francis's Rosenstrike fight, Overeem,
Lewis.
Junior Dos Santos. I didn't watch Lewis, bro.
Yo, that fight was boring, eh?
Yeah,
that fight was a joke.
Because Derek Lewis his back was like seized up, and Francis was like, okay, well, I don't know what to do. I don't want to get knocked out.
Who has more knockout power? You think, him or Lewis?
Well, I think Derek Lewis has the most knockouts, like total. But I think Francis has less fights than Derek.
Yeah, but he doesn't even train though.
Who?
Lewis.
Derek Lewis.
Yeah,
no, I think that's just all the game. Like, I think like training, as in like if you look at training on a scale, and you used to look at GSP as like the pinnacle, and you look at the least as
Lewis? As like Derek Lewis.
No, that's disrespect, man.
He's saying himself, man.
No. Oh, I got it. You got GSP and you got CM Punk. Right?
Wow, okay, come on, bro.
You got CM Punk.
He actually trained.
Derek Lewis
CM
is
Punk
like,
trained though.
Derek Lewis is like right here, right?
No,
he's a heavyweight, so it's like he's not gonna do all these like Muay Thai drills and high knees and stuff like that, right? He's not gonna do that, but he's still training. Like he's still professional.
But like, did you watch like the?
It's part of his like mystique. What?
Yeah, but like the CM Punk vlogs, like from back then, he trained a lot, man.
Come on,
2 years straight of just training.
Come on,
they made a whole series on the guy.
Okay,
guy, bro. Good,
train.
bro. This guy, bro. Disrespect. CM Punk.
What is he? 0-2?
Disrespect, bro.
Anyways, Stipe
Francis.
Stipe Francis, right? That fight is going to be very, very interesting. It's very, very hard to predict, and there's a lot of guys that are like dead set on like, oh, this Stipe is gonna win. Oh, Francis is gonna win. But on both sides, there's a lot of question marks and a lot of points that people stand on that you can't really rely on, right? On the Stipe side, a big factor that they talk about is Stipe was able to take Francis's punches and still win the fight. But that's not a guarantee in the second fight. Stipe has shown, Stipe in 2 fights has been knocked out, right? Has been stopped via strikes. DC and Stefan Struve. So to guarantee that that Stipe is going to go into the Francis fight and be able to still take all those shots it's not doable, right? Like you can't put that much into his chin. Like I get that he did it before, but that's not a guarantee. And on the inverse is Francis. Yes, Francis was able to hit him 14 times in the first round. Francis got some clean shots, but at the same time, a lot of those shots that Francis threw were on the back foot. And when he's knocking out guys, most of the time it's going forward. So
like the Rosenstrike fight. Remember that?
That was going backwards.
No, yeah, but like he pushed forward though. Remember? He
Oh no, yeah, he was going forward. Sorry, yeah, you're right. Rosenstrike was going backwards.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of factors into this, and this is not like a fight at lightweight, for example, where like you could at lightweight there's a lot more strikes absorbed. Like for example, Dan Hooker and Poirier, there was like 100 and something 10 strikes thrown by landed by each one of them.
I have a Max Holloway and Cater.
Maxwell, yeah, you know what I mean. Like at heavyweight, it's very uncommon to see that high volume being landed on the other fighter. So this fight is very, very hard to predict. I think.
Don't say it.
I think Francis. I think Francis is probably going to win this fight just because of the number of shots that Stipe did take, right? As well, Francis has had 3 years of being focused. I don't know what. I don't know
40
how
UFC
focused.
cards, 40 UFC cards like between the two, because it was at 220, right?
Yeah, it was over 3 years ago. Wow. So he has a new camp. He's a lot more focused. His striking doesn't look that much different. But I would like to think that, okay, if you're training for 3 years while being active in those 3 years, I think there has to be some sort of improvement.
How about his cardio?
That goes in there. His cardio, I think if it goes past the second round, it's over. I don't think it lasts so long. That's why my final prediction is Francis first round at the 3 minute mark. is what I think.
That's oddly that's very suspicious of you.
What?
Is the fight fixed? This guy has inside details, bro.
Stipe is not a company man. He doesn't. He hates the UFC. I'm kidding. But 3 minutes into the first round, I think Francis will be able to hit him enough times that he might drop, at least drop Stipe, because Stipe is coming off a fight with DC, and DC hit him 104 times, I think. You got hit 104 times by DC, and you think that 7 months is really going to be enough to not only deal with that damage and heal up, yeah, but also take all of these strikes that Francis is going to throw at him. Right, Francis lands. Like, Francis misses a lot.
But how is a heavyweight champion in the world like the underdog in this fight? That's crazy.
I honestly, I think it's hype, but at the same time, it's that big factor. It's like, how much can you be guaranteed in the guy's chin? Because it's not a question if Francis can hit him or not. That's not a question. I think some people think it's a question that Stipe is going to just dodge his punches. Yes, he's going to dodge him, right? But he's going to hit him, and he's hit him 14 times in the head, only the head, right? 14, I forget the body, but
14 Ford Escorts.
14 Ford Escorts. So to me, Stipe is going to get hit. Now it's just a matter of at what position is he going to get hit and how is he going to react. And I think the way that Stipe, if he gets knocked out, the way he's going to get knocked out is that he's going to dip his head. Mm-hmm. He's going to dip his head to try to slip or avoid a punch, and he'll eat an uppercut. Yeah. And that will be a punch where he gets a little bit rocked, and then we'll see from there.
Shout out Hamid's video for the analysis.
Yeah.
Says exactly that.
So Stipe, like a lot of times in the first fight as well, the times that he got caught with punches or he like got a little stumbled was when he dipped his head down. So he's really good at moving it like laterally and back forth. Whatever, like side to side and backwards. But when he dips it, it's like it's ready for an uppercut. And maybe Stipe goes into this fight knowing that and tries to avoid level changing to avoid strikes and just commits to a takedown. Because if he commits to a takedown, I don't think that uppercut lands because his takedown attempt will be a lot faster in that situation.
Well, not like we've had this topic for the past, probably 6 months now. But what's next for Izzy?
What's next for Izzy?
What's next for Israel Adesanya after the Jan Blachowicz fight, after John Jones, everything fell out?
Yeah.
After all the shade he got on Twitter and everything for losing, but
I don't look at Twitter, man. Twitter is a strange world.
Scum of the earth, bro. Twitter is scum of the earth.
Yeah, I try to stay. I don't look at social media too much. It's not like anybody's adding me, right, and saying any of these things. But I don't. Anyways, to each their own. Israel Adesanya is in a situation where like he just came off a loss, but it's not in his own division, right? Yeah. It's not in the division that he like dominates. So what does he lose? Okay, he kind of loses that little mystique of being unbeaten, right? Like guys like Khabib have,
but he's lost
John Jones in the MMA though. Like nobody's seen him in MMA, and then when he was lost in boxing. I forgot how many times, and then kickboxing
twice, right?
Kickboxing, he got knocked out once, and then he lost like a split decision or something to the same guy that knocked him out, I think, right? I don't remember. Anyway, so in MMA, he had that mystique. It kind of goes away, right? That aura goes away until he goes back into the octagon and shows, like, okay, that was a one-time situation. I'll make my way back to lightweight, light heavyweight. So now who is there? Paulo Costa.
Oh, you mean middleweight?
Middleweight, yeah. Sorry. Paulo Costa is sick still. Even if he won, I don't think we would have saw a rematch.
Because it's too soon.
It's a little too soon, and the whole drama and stuff. I want Paulo Costa to like build himself a little bit more to the point where he's able to have more going into that fight.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna get trolled. he's gonna get eaten alive by everybody, and that kind of hurts. The wine.
The wine. Sorry, yeah, the wine.
he's gonna get eaten alive by not just the media but also like Izzy too.
Yeah.
And I don't think that draws as much attention anymore because like people are just like, oh, this guy's a joke. He lost and stuff. So I think Paulo Costa is really good still.
Well, like right now it's gonna be, so like it's Whitaker versus Gastelum, right? And then whoever wins that like will face Izzy.
Is that confirmed?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so the fighters that are left is Gastelum, Whitaker.
Yoel Romero.
bring him back, man. I miss him.
Soldier of God.
I don't know when he debuts in Bellator. I want to watch that.
It's gonna be a good fight.
So Whitaker, Gastelum, Kevin Holland's it was not in the picture anyways.
Derek Brunson.
Derek Brunson. Who else? Darren Till is the last one. Yeah. He's facing what's his name? Vittori. I forget his name. The Italian guy.
Martin Vittori.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good fight.
Martin or Marvin?
I think Martin.
I think it's Marvin.
I think it's Martin.
$5. You already owe me like $5.
Go $5.
No, it's okay.
$5.
We don't gamble. $5. We don't gamble over here. So what it looks like is that all these contenders that are potentially going to face Israel Adesanya are all rematches. The only one that's not a rematch would be Darren Till.
Yeah.
And I think like their camp is not shy when it comes to this point. They want Darren Till to win. They want Darren Till to win because they want that matchup. Whether it be because it's a fresh matchup compared to Kevin Gastelum and Whitaker and all that kind of stuff, or it's also because
it's a money fight. Give me Mayweather. Woo.
Woo! This guy. No, the reason why is because he's a kickboxer, right? His foundation is kickboxing. So they know that Darren Till is not going to go for double legs. He's not going to clinch too much. He's going to want to stand there and bang, right? Similar to what similar to what Darren Till and Jorge Masvidal did.
Oh, this like fight.
Because do you remember those interviews where they had the one-on-ones? Those are legendary. Where they were talking about like standing and they're talking about ready to die in there, all that kind of stuff.
Jorge put like a clinic on him, eh?
Yeah, with that switch hook. But anyway, so I think they want that fight because they're able to go in there and play to their strengths. Mm-hmm. They don't have to worry about working the jiu-jitsu game too much. They don't have to worry about the clinch work too much.
Shout out Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah, so they don't have to worry about that. This fight is literally going to be a kickboxing match. Mm-hmm. So when you have that type of matchup, plus it's a fresh one, I don't blame them, right? It's something new. It's something fun. Let's go
and give us a full crowd and give us it in
Florida?
England.
Oh, England is
sweet Caroline. Say it.
No,
say it.
So, if you
just kill the vibe,
you sing it yourself. Why do you need me to sing for you? So, I don't blame him for that situation, but at the same time, like Izzy is probably going to fight for what, like another 4 years, 3-4 years. Like he's 33. Going to have to. He's going, like 2-3 years then. Who knows?
He's 1 year thing than John Jones. 1 year younger.
So, how many fights does he really have left? He's going to have to face people again. He's going to have to rematch guys, and all the greats in previous history have had rematches, whether it be in the boxing world or in MMA. People do face each other again.
Well, not Khabib though.
Yeah, Khabib had
no rematches.
He had no rematches, huh?
Nope.
I'm thinking
this guy just did like a nice one and done. Everybody in left.
Yeah, that's a different topic. We'll talk about next. Yeah. But I think
what happens to the Izzy Jones though?
It's still possible. I remember we talked about this after the fight. Mm-hmm. Izzy has to go and rebuild himself back up a little bit. So he has to go there and show like, okay, that was a one-off and that was a different situation. That was a fight that I could have won. Mm-hmm. But the reason why I didn't win is because I didn't do the John Wayne. Do you know? You haven't watched the interviews? John Wayne is a jiu-jitsu like move where you use it to get out of side control. Get out of half guard.
I probably drilled it before, but
yeah. I don't know. No, the reason why is because in interviews, Izzy has talked about, I should have done the John Wayne, blah blah blah. Anyways, for the people that got that joke. It's funny, but
not really.
not
Go on.
So Izzy versus John is possible. MMA is a very, very short-sighted game where people just remember your last two fights.
Yeah, but do you think that if he goes back to middleweight and he wins, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there's
if he wins again, I think you can go back to lightweight.
Yeah, right?
Or even one fight. If he goes in
light
there.
Heavyweight, you mean, yeah.
Light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight goes there. The issue is that it's like you have to go all the way up to the heavyweight, right? That's extra, like, how many pounds is that? 10, 20 pounds?
Yeah, and there's a minimum that you have to weigh. I don't think the weight and stuff like that is going to be like a discussion point. Yeah. Just the
strength.
The idea of Izzy being matched up with John Jones is like the bigger hurdle. So what he has to do is first he has to go out there and show like, okay, I'm the middleweight champion and I'm able to defend my belt and maybe do it again. Right at that point, then he can go start smoke again with John Jones.
Yeah.
And who knows what John Jones will be at that point.
Well, he started smoke already, man.
Yeah.
John Jones. So
if John Jones goes and faces the winner of Francis and Stipe and wins, that might be like another year plus from now, where that fight happens. Yeah. Because Stipe is known for now he takes these long breaks, right?
Well, yeah, he has to. It's heavyweight, right? So
no, there's heavyweights that fight every like 4 months. So he might be able to get that matchup lined up for like a year and a half from now.
Yeah. After
John Jones, if say John Jones wins, right? And then John Jones needs a training camp for Izzy. That might be a year and a half plus from now. So there's still time for that. You need to give Izzy time to go in there and like fight and whatnot.
Take your time. Press rewind. Khabib Nurmagomedov officially retires from the sport of MMA.
What's his middle name? Is it Usman or something like that?
Manap.
That's his dad's name.
I don't know.
Rest in peace. Oh my god.
Rest in peace, Manap.
Yeah. He officially retires. So, him and the UFC with this whole situation,
weird.
So very, very strange.
Sus.
I think they were both playing this game of like who would give in first to the other person's like request. Like the UFC wanted him to fight again, right? But not at like the high price tag, right? And at the same time, Khabib wanted to fight, but not these guys that they were proposing and for the dollar amount. He wanted GSP, and it's clear that he wanted GSP. But the UFC was not willing to give up. I
don't think, honestly, man, like if you look at him right now, I don't think like, he even wanted GSP.
He wanted GSP.
I just think like he wants to be retired and just leave.
No, he wanted GSP. At one point, he wanted GSP. Around that Justin Gaethje time.
At what weight?
He wanted GSP. The weight is not
catch weight.
yeah. We have a whole video about that.
Whole series on that, bro.
Goddamn movie. So I don't think this situation was like handled the best. Like with the MMA, it's kind of strange, right? It's not. MMA is not a team sport, similar to like the NBA or something like that. The fighter is the end all be all for that fighter's career.
It's a stable sport,
right?
Stable, like you have your own team.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Like that, right?
Yeah. So as opposed to say like the NBA, right? There's the Los Angeles Lakers, right?
Garbage team.
Give you an example. Kyle Kuzma, for example, or LeBron James.
Terrible.
Right? Like he has somebody to answer to, right? That's above him. So he has somebody that pays his paychecks. So he's part of a team. So he has to answer to the team's protocols, their training, their dress code, all these different things where he has to abide by those rules. As well, the league requires official retirement papers. For example, if you want to retire, you have to officially sign paper that says, "I'm retired, I'm out." Right? That tells them this.
Yeah, but can you come back or no?
Fighting as well. Yeah, of course you can come back. Right? Fighting. Wait, NBA or
NBA?
Yeah, I think you can come back, but it's a longer process. Fighting, you can fight for much longer than what you can do these other professional sports at. Like LeBron James can't be 42 years old, for example, and just come in and then demand this high dollar amount, right? He has to be in better shape. He needs to be physically able to play the sport of basketball, as opposed to MMA, for example. You have guys like Royce Gracie who fought like a couple years ago, right? The guy's in his 40s, right? And he's still fighting. Why? Because he doesn't really have anybody to answer to, right?
I mean, there's also like your license, right? Like to fight, so you have to
but
have that renewed. And
passing those things is not very it's not very difficult. We've seen it happen. A lot of times, where it comes down to is who your opponent is.
Yeah.
Is your opponent clearly more experienced than you and is going to like thrash you, like to the point where you're going to be in danger, right? If not, then go ahead.
Shout out Overeem.
What? Why Overeem? Just because,
yeah.
Horse meat.
So, and Sanchez.
Diego Sanchez. So that's a difference between these other professional sports, right? You have to be there's minimum requirements that you have to meet, as opposed to the UFC and MMA. The requirements are not the same, right? It's a prize fighting sport where you are independently responsible for everything that you do. So Khabib, yes, he's retired. Does he not come back? I don't say like any fighter could come back. Like goddamn Chuck Liddell could come back. But they're not
independent contractors, right?
He did fight recently, right?
Who?
Chuck Liddell. Like
Maybe,
a couple years
know.
ago. Yeah. Against Tito, right? In Bellator.
But they're not independent contractors, right? Like
who?
These fighters or no?
They're independent contractors. Yeah. They sign contracts to with the UFC, and they're not employees. They're contractors. Mm-hmm. So this is a little bit different. So Khabib, I believe, and we've talked about this before, right? Where we talk about retirement, all that kind of stuff. Yes, he's retired in the sense that he's not going to fight right now, right? He doesn't have any fight lined up. He's not training for a fight, so on and so forth.
He wants Mayweather, right?
But him, that's not my check. So if you were to ask me, does this 100% say he's never fighting again? No, it doesn't. He could be 38 years old and be like, you know what? I'm coming back for a fight.
I want the money fight.
And that fight will probably do huge numbers. So for now, yes, he's retired in the sense that the lightweight title and the picture and the rankings, he's not part of that right now. So you can remove him from that equation.
But he's an honorable man, you know. He said himself that, you know, I'm not gonna do this again because like it's putting like my mom into but worry and stuff, right? Time
changes things, right? Everything the changes with time, mm-hmm. right? There's no guarantee that he's going to fight, and there's no guarantee that he's not going to fight.
If he fights, man, I keep saying it's gonna be Conor again. That's the only fight that's gonna bring top dollar.
So there's another discussion that went on where GSP brought up. He's like, it was about Kamaru Usman. He was like, it was not really about Khabib, but it was just a point I wanted to bring up. So he was talking about Kamaru Usman and Kamaru Usman being talked as the greatest welterweight ever, and he brought up a point. He's like, listen, like I get it. The athletes of today are always going to be better than athletes than before. He's like, that doesn't necessarily mean that if we were to fight each other, he beats me. But the point that he's trying to say is that there's always going to be a progression in the sport where there's going to be better people.
No one's bigger than the sport.
Yeah. So the other point that he brought up that went with that was when he was fighting for in the welterweight division and defending his title and all that kind of stuff, he was facing people multiple times, right? There's the sirens outside. Is that to my house? Okay, this guy's gone. So so he's faced multiple people. Our friend Mohammed. So he's faced multiple guys multiple times. He faced Matt Hughes 3 times. He faced Josh Koscheck 2 times. He faced BJ Penn 2 or 3 times. He's faced a lot of these guys many times, and that's what added to his legacy, right? He was able to not only beat these guys, but give them time to progress and still beat them again, just to prove like, okay, on that night I was the winner, but as well on this night I was the winner as well. To cement like, okay, there's less discussion on whether or not who is the better martial artist. In Khabib's scenario, yes, you could probably say he's better martial artist than Conor and Dustin and Justin Gaethje. but there's still room for discussion where you say, okay, yes, you beat them once, but did you beat them multiple times, right? Yeah, it's kind of different in GSP and Khabib situations, because Khabib really dominated them in one aspect, and he's so dominant in that aspect, it kind of leaves you like, okay, how I can't see these other guys beating him. But in GSP was more of a complete like game, right? He would beat you with his jab, with his takedowns, with his pressure. It was
Superman jab.
Yeah, his was more complete, and I see why people think like, okay, what is left for Khabib to do, right? He's already beat this guy. If they go into the same matchup again, he's going to do exactly the same thing. But at the same time, you have to, in order to develop that legacy, right? I need to see, he doesn't have to answer to me, but we would like to see him beat guys multiple times, not just one and dones. And the question that he asked is like, what's left to do?
Connor.
Well, like, I get, like, you beat them, but beat them again. Like, all these greats face guys multiple times. People trash on Tito Ortiz, right? But Tito Ortiz faced Chuck Liddell many, many times, right? Yep. People trash on guys like Stipe Miocic, and he beat DC twice, right? He didn't have to face DC again, right? He already beat him, right? He fought him 3 times. So, like, John Jones, he faced Alexander Gustafsson twice, and he faced DC twice.
You know, like now that you say it, though, like, it is weird because with Khabib, he's never had that like true rivalry.
Yeah, the closest thing is Connor, but we
That's
haven't really seen anything beyond second fight, which I get what he means. Like, he's done it, but in order to I think as time goes on, the idea of Khabib being number 1 overall will kind of go away. Yeah. Because we'll be like, yes, but he beat everybody. But how long did he do that? He defended the title 3 times. Yeah. But before then, he faced like Ali Quinta. He faced Michael Johnson. He faced RDA. Edson Barbosa, RDA. Right, like those guys are really good. But at the top level for the title, you only did 3 times. Yeah. So I think give it some time, and we'll see Khabib slowly maybe transition back into the octagon.
He's still training, right? So
yeah, that's just his life. He's going to be training until he's blue in the face. blue in the lips.
Blue lips. This topic we'll do really quick. It's like 5-minute topic, but Ben Askren versus Jake Paul. Ooh. I don't think anybody really cares.
You know what's more interesting about that matchup?
What?
Dana White, $1 million.
And then he offered $2 million after, right?
What?
Or like Jake Paul who countered. He's like,
I don't know.
It's a $2 million. But I mean, if I were Dana White, I wouldn't bet $1 million against Jake Paul because, man, Ben Askren cannot strike. Did you see his sparring? I'm sorry. Honestly, I think I could outspar him. I think honestly, like, his boxing is 0.
Yeah.
Honestly,
maybe it's all a game. Maybe it's all a game.
Maybe it is.
He's
Listen,
just doing it on purpose.
Bro, I want to be proved wrong, but that guy cannot box. I don't know what he is doing.
Yeah.
But I think Jake Paul's gonna go there. I think he's gonna starch this guy.
He's gonna starch him.
He's gonna starch him.
If you look at the clip where Dana's talking about it,
he's pissed.
He looks like he pulled that out of his like thing because he just said it out of nowhere. I don't think he's ever seen Jake Paul spar. I don't think he's seen any of the stuff. Yes, he's a YouTuber, but he's been doing it for 3+ years, I think now, right? And he's actually like committed to it. He's
quite decent too. You see the spar?
He's doing the right things that like a guy that actually is a professional boxer is going to do, where his lifestyle is surrounded with his training. So I'm not saying Jake Paul is going to go out there and beat Billy Joe Saunders or anything like that.
A Canelo.
Right? But he has a better understanding of how to sit down on his punches. He's able to infight a lot. Right? He has power in his hands, as opposed to
Ben Askren.
Ben Askren, he is a whole different situation where we see his sparring and his striking, and it's not it's not the most ideal.
Or as Yoel would say, smaller man, dirty boxing. You know, believe.
So, the next thing that I did was I went and watched some of Ben Askren's fights, in the UFC, right, to see what his striking is. I forgot how much this guy loves to clinch, right? He loves to get that hook on the back of the person's neck, like a single
Yep.
hook, and he uses that to like punch the guy. So I think if anything, he's going to try to like dirty box the entire time,
Yeah.
in hope that his like he's a really big guy too, right? He's pretty big, just like size wise. He's gonna probably hope that he just wears down on Jake Paul, and he does have he has better cardio than
Of course,
Jake Paul,
yeah, he's a fighter.
right?
Right?
He's a professional athlete. So if Ben Askren wins this fight, it's going to be by decision, right?
Yeah.
Or he's just gonna wear down on him and win. That being said, there's videos of
hitting
Jake
the
Paul,
bag or no hitting the bag.
there's videos of Jake Paul with Jorge Masvidal because they were in Florida,
Yeah.
and you know how Masvidal did the flying knee.
Yeah.
So he was teaching Jake Paul how to do like this switch like right hook. Do you get what I mean? So the bell rings and he rushes at him, and as he's rushing, he constantly switches his stance,
Yeah.
and then throws like a right like hook on uppercut kind of.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You've
okay,
seen
yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah, I've seen
So there's a chance that we might see that come out in the fight.
Well,
And
like Jorge could be a boxer, you know. I think he's a
yeah, I
a
think
very good
he's
striker.
boxed before.
Yeah.
So I don't know professionally, maybe amateur. I think boxing.
In the backyard.
Yeah, that too.
Kimbo.
So I think Jake Paul might come out there and beat him in like 20 seconds because he just come forward in like barrages. And,
Shout out Nate Robinson.
but we haven't really seen we haven't really seen Ben Askren get knocked out other than like the flying knee. All the other times
Besides
the
the flying knee. Besides the flying knee. God damn. Yo, I honestly like that's one KO. I just can't really watch again because it's so disgusting.
it's like 5 seconds.
And, but it was like, oh god, that was like.
So in MMA, we haven't really seen him knocked out that much. We've seen like
His soul snatched, yeah.
Robbie Lawler did like the rack attack, bro, and like
F5.
Brock Lesnar must have been in the crowd.
Goddamn AA.
So we've seen that, but this is boxing, right? There's dirty boxing.
This is boxing. Please respect boxing.
There's gonna be
Big drama show.
There's gonna be like clinching. It's gonna be all that stuff. But I think Ben Askren's gonna win. Gonna lose this fight.
Yeah, but like, will it be like
Yeah,
a big
it's-
box thing, like a big drama show, or no?
It's gonna be a big drama show. It's gonna be a big Twitter show, big Instagram show, everything. I don't even know when this fight is.
And whoever wins gets a face Mayweather.
yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Well, last topic and cool topic. Michael Make Weight Go Home Chandler versus Charles Dubronx Oliveira
Oh wow!
for the UFC lightweight title since Khabib vacated. What?
Is it for the title?
Yep, for title.
Oh
Confirmed.
wow! I didn't know that.
Confirmed.
So do you want to do like a analytical video, like closer look for this fight?
When's the fight?
You tell me.
You tell me. You know what? I'm gonna find it for you right now.
It's probably in a couple months.
tell you
Probably
right
in
now.
April, May.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Actually, 3,
So
2,
what?
here. May 15th.
May 15th.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
So we have time to do like a closer look.
We're gonna do 5 of them. We're gonna do 5 closer looks. 2 closer looks and 4 analysis videos every single day.
Okay, so what are you talking about?
Every single day.
So Michael. So for a video, we did Charles Oliveira versus Khabib. So we looked at a closer look of if that fight went down, how would it go down? And
Spoiler.
a lot of what I'm going to, it doesn't matter. You can go watch that video. But a lot of that video was about what Charles Oliveira does. And I think that can be applied to the Michael Chandler as well as like as a first kind of breakdown of this fight. Charles Oliveira is not the best striker. What he excels at is he's able to use his reach and he's able to use volume. So
Ferguson basically.
yeah, he's not as crazy as Ferguson. And then sorry, not crazy, unique, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ferguson has a lot more elbows. He's a lot more unorthodox in terms of like fighting style, not stance. But Charles Oliveira is very, very, very good at using range. If you try to use a comparison to another fighter that Michael Chandler has faced, you can probably say Dan Hooker, for example. right?
Yeah.
Dan Hooker's game plan when he went in there was stay on the outside, chop down the legs, and avoid power, right? And try to circle away from the right hand. You know how that ended, though, right? Michael Chandler knocked him out.
Yeah.
The bigger factor in this fight, though, I think it's going to be the jiu-jitsu game. Michael Chandler has had one fight in the UFC.
You know, I'm gonna check something too about Chandler. Yeah, bad thing.
When his birthday is.
No. Go on.
So, Michael Chandler, his jiu-jitsu game and grappling game is very, very high level. We haven't really seen that in the UFC yet because of how short his fight with Dan Hooker was. But in Bellator, in his grappling is very high level. Michael Chandler believes like his
God.
he believes he can beat Khabib, and to beat Khabib you have to beat his grappling. So
You know what's weird though with Chandler? I always thought like he's a midget almost, you know, like
he's
5'4",
very short.
5'5", but he's not that short.
he's like 5'8".
5'8", 5'9".
Yeah,
That's
but he's
not-
shorter compared to all these other guys.
Oliveira's like 5'10".
He's like 5'11". Yeah,
So like, what's the difference? To be honest, it's not
it's
crazy.
3 inches. It's not only that; it's also wingspan too,
Oh yeah, I guess you're right with that. Yeah.
right? And leg reach. So I
Freaking
feel
Oompa Loompa, bro.
I feel it's going to be very interesting because Charles Oliveira, a lot of times in his fights, as recent as well, he's always forward pressuring. He doesn't really fight from his back foot. When fighters that usually are like always forward pressuring, they go on the back foot. Some of these guys don't know how to fight going backwards. So it's very difficult to gauge whether or not Oliveira is going to be able to fight on the back foot. Bro, what are you doing, man?
What are you doing? You called me.
Wait in your car. We're recording our last podcast. 1 second. Turn off your ringtone.
It's off.
You have to cut this out.
No, keep that all in.
No, you have to cut this out.
Keep
man.
that in. That's easy. Go on.
So it's very, very difficult to gauge whether or not Charles Oliveira is going to commit to going forward. If he's willing to going forward in that fight against Michael Chandler, it's going to be very, very interesting because Michael Chandler is going to be pushing forward because he believes he has a grappling advantage, right? Not necessarily the jiu-jitsu game, but he knows that he can take him down and he can pound him out. At the same time, Charles Oliveira predominantly goes forward when he strikes. So what's going to happen, I think, in this fight is this is like a preemptive. I haven't looked too deeply into it yet, but
Neither have I.
yeah, that's a given. I think Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira are going to meet in the middle, right? And they're going to constantly clinch. You turn off the ringtone.
It's not my fault.
I said turn it off. This guy, man. Honestly, I turned it off, huh?
He's spam calling. What do you want me to do?
So you turn off the ringtone. It's almost done, man. So what I think is that what they're going to do is that they're going to constantly. It's like your girlfriend, honestly.
What
huh?
do you mean?
You're just constantly like you're just staring at the phone. This guy. God damn. They're going to meet in the middle, right? Mm-hmm. Because neither one is going to want to like step backwards.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of clinch work and it's going to go to the ground. I think Michael Chandler is going to be super defensive, right? On the ground. Yeah. He's going to be super defensive on the ground to the point where he's not going to take any risks. So if he sees Charles Oliveira try to twist his hips and try to go for any sweeps or go for any arm bars, he's going to just stop that and clinch back on the ground.
Yeah, like will Chandler make weight or no?
Yeah, Chandler will make weight. I think he wins this fight
and then goes home.
By I think he'll either win decision by just grinding out a win, or he'll finish on the ground. I don't know about the feet. I think Charles Oliveira will be able to absorb some of the punches, but I don't think he'll get one punch KO'd. I think he's able to absorb a lot of these shots, and he's shown before that he's able to take shots. But I think on the ground, there's sometimes where he has a tendency is once he gets stopped on the ground where he's not able to transition, he gets very lazy, right? He's very easy to hit on the ground. So guys with head movement there's guys that are very good at head movement
Chandler
on the
has
ground.
negative head movement, bro.
No, so there's guys that are on the when they're on the bottom, they have really good head movement,
Yeah.
right? Charles Oliveira doesn't have really good head movement from the bottom,
Yeah.
so he'll be able to try to sweep and stuff. But once he realizes he can't do that and he gets a little bit tired, I think Chandler wins this fight.